lived in Asia, in China as well. So I'm very also excited to say that we do have a lot of representation here at Westcliff. We have many from East Asia, South Asia as well. So we're actually quite diverse, over 100 different nationalities. So going on, where is Westcliff located? We actually have our main campus in Southern California, the very sunny Southern California in Irvine. And we have an additional campus in Miami, Florida. And we were planning to open up our campus in Los Angeles in the fall. So we do plan to open up more campuses in other locations. And actually that brings me to our first poll question. If you don't mind, we will be putting out a poll question. Some of these questions will be answered before we do our Q&A. So the first one will be, where are you currently residing? What is your current location? So getting that idea, and then it's good to know where everyone's at. By the way, if you haven't been to California yet, definitely, if you get the chance, it is quite sunny over here. It's usually about 23 degrees Celsius, sunny year round. That withstanding, the beginning of this year has been quite wet, but I'm looking forward to the summertime, where there's a lot to do in and around Orange County, LA. If you have a chance, you will have time along with your studies to pursue your hobbies, interests, and also check out the surrounding areas. We have the Irvine city, which is actually the tech hub for Orange County. There's a lot of biotech, fintech, technology companies located right there. We also are near the beach. We have over 100 beaches nearby. We have the mountains, and then farther east of that, we even have the desert. There's a lot of diversity, environment diversity. We have the original Disneyland, Hollywood, Walk of Fame, which is in downtown LA. And we have San Diego, about a 2-hour drive, whereas in Vegas, that's about 4-hour drive away. So it looks like the majority of students are in California already. So I'm probably preaching to the choir here about the benefits of living in California. I see we do have some in New York as well, about 8% of that in New York. So the majority, 63% in California, and then we do have other locations. So whether you're in or outside the US, really happy that we're here talking today. So looking at Miami, this is a second top tourist destination in Southern Florida. It's an economic and cultural capital of Latin America. And our campus is located in the business district, where you'll have a chance to pursue some of your career interests. Westcliff has enrolled close to 5,000 students for 2022. We have surpassed 100 different nationalities. We actually, I think, added our most recent student was from Lithuania, and we're continuing to reflect overall California as such a diverse population. And then we have small class sizes than the national average. We have also higher graduation rates than the 60% national average. We have 94% satisfaction rate and 85% job placement after graduation. Now, I'm going to share, we have bachelor, master, and doctorate programs across our 4 colleges, a College of Business, Technology, Engineering, Education, and Law. Before we dive into it, we will have a poll question, which will be, which programs or professional industries are you interested in? So feel free to participate and jump on. And looking at our College of Business, we have Master of Business Administration, and that as our general management, marketing. So these are concentrations in white, and then students can also pursue the STEM eligible programs that are marked with the S as well. Looking at College of Technology Engineering. You have MSIT, MS Computer Science, and then Master of Science in Engineering Management. Those are all STEM focused. And we have our College of Education, which is a Master of Arts in TESOL that includes education technology. And then we also offer the College of Law Juris Doctor degree program, which is a 3-year law degree program. Now, what is not on here is also our doctorate in business administration. So should you pursue our master's in any master, there is really, you don't need business experience, you don't need a background in business, but you can also qualify to go to our, you're eligible to move on to our doctorate program without any prerequisites, and that'll be a 3-year doctorate program. Okay, so what is the Westcliff experience? Well, we offer a lot of opportunities for practical experience, exposing students to real U.S. companies who need help with solving, organizational, operational challenges, proposals. That is through our Smart Capstone course. So it'll be a guided experience. We'll have a mentor actually lead these students to doing an 8-week focused project. And it's a great way to add to your resume that extra experience on top of any internship you're doing. We also have a WAVE student club, Women Entrepreneurship Center, and we have incubator program for Southern California entrepreneurs. And what is that really? That is that we allow entrepreneurs to actually take residency in the campus, and it's a good way to network. We also have a partnership with Tech Coast Angels that come every 2 weeks to campus to hear pitches from new startups here in Southern California. So that's another great way to reach out, network, and see, make connections, which is one of the most important things about the education here. Now, looking at the results from poll, it looks a little more mixed. Now we have actually a good representation from software engineering and data science. Altogether, that represents over 40% of who are here today. Also, we have business administration that's close to 40% interested. So great. We do have a College of Nursing that will be opening up in the next in the near future. So look out for that. Very good to see that here. And then, yes, very nice. And going on, we also have quality faculty mentors, over 20 plus years of experience. We really emphasize on developing those soft skills so that you're ready for employment, ready for your career once you leave Westcliff. We also have access to a WeJar, which is our International Journal of Applied Research. We have a symposium every year, which you can actually submit your research to and present them. And you can find other scholarly journal articles too. All right. And I will say too, by the way, just the way that the schedule of your classes are arranged, you have a lot of time to pursue your hobbies, interests, and your work during the daytime, because most of the classes are offered at nights. So it is good kind of focus for the working adult. All right, so this all sounds great. How do we apply? Westcliff, very simple. We have an online application. You'll go onto our portal, westcliff.edu/apply, and we'll look at your diploma transcripts. We're looking at a minimum of 2.5 for graduate, postgraduate, and then for GPA, and then for English proficiency, if you have at least 30 credits at a US university or institution, then that will fulfill the English requirement. If not, we'll look at English exam scores. If we have TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, we have our own internal English exam as well. And if you have studied in an international school, we can accept medium of instruction being English to waive those exam requirements. And of course, for those who want additional resources for English, we do have an English intensive English pathway program, which is a minimum of 16 weeks, 4 months, and then that will ease you into your degree program should you want to pursue that. So we also don't require GMAT, GRE, SAT. I'm sure you're breathing a sigh of relief hearing that. And there are some additional requirements for the IT, computer science, engineering management. It usually requires either a bachelor's degree in those related fields or that you have some related work experience, at least 2 years. But if not, then I think for engineering, you will need at least one engineering course to get into MSEM. Now, with that being said, you will be able to take your prerequisite Tech 100. If you take the Tech 100 prerequisite, you should be fine to continue on. All right, now let's go on to the tuition costs for now. Through summer, we are looking at an average of around $13,680 per year for master's level, and then around $16,300 for doctorate level. Master's is a tier program, doctorate is 3 years. And we can do accelerated program options. So it's possible to finish less than 2 years for your master's. And the housing and living expenses, really with the quality of life here, it's no wonder that cost of living is probably the most substantial expense you will have. And that will be about $20,000 per year in addition to your tuition. So just keep that in mind. And also we will collect tuition per semester, but we can also collect per month. And by the way, thank you for submitting questions. We will be going over questions at the end. I believe Brian did say that too. So yes, thank you for that. Scholarships and grants. What about scholarships and grants? So by applying with our partner GoElite, students are eligible for a $1,000 automatic scholarship through 2023 academic year. We also have an extensive scholarships and grants page located under the financial aid section of our website. There you can find different awards, scholarships that can award up to $10,000 per year for incoming students. And then we do have merit and region-based scholarships, needs-based scholarships, and humanitarian scholarships and athletic scholarships for current and new students. So the full list can be found on our website, and along with, by clicking on each one, you can find a drop-down of the criteria needed. Now, to apply for the merit-based or though not the GoElite scholarship, then there is a scholarship application. I do recommend submitting that application as soon as you can, even maybe at the same time that you submit your application, so that you can get the results as soon as before you start your classes. So I just want to also note, we do have 20 different sports here at Westcliff, and the chances are pretty good. If you looking at your skill level and the demand on our team, you could receive up to a full tuition scholarship. All right, so one great thing about Westcliff is we're accepting students throughout the year. So we have open enrollment, 6 start dates per year. And I want to let you know we can let students do curricular practical training, which is the internship, really, throughout their time at Westcliff. So if you are a graduate level student, you can take CPT for both years of your study, or all 3 years if you're doctorate level. This will be approved by the university, and we will have an internship, online internship course that is worth 1 credit per semester, which you need to also be enrolled in. And then the one thing we look at also is that it's related to your degree. It's fairly simple to find that connection there, especially if you're doing business. And we do recommend doing part-time so that you remain eligible to work after graduation, which is what we call post-completion OPT. So stick to 20 hours per week or less for part-time, and that way you can do it for your entire program, then continue on to work after graduation. If you're doing full-time, then that is more than 20 hours per week, and that you should not exceed 12 months of full-time CPT, or else you will not be eligible for OPT after graduation. I hope that was clear. We will be able to answer more going forward. So looking at the eligibility for CPT, new students, they must have, for undergraduate, must have been enrolled for 1 academic year. Graduate students can begin as soon as their program starts. For the GPA requirements, you will need at least a 2.5 or above to continue to do CPT, and then 1.5 or above for part-time if you're undergrad. For graduate, it's 3.0 or above for full-time, or 2.5 or above for part-time. Why do internships? Well, the benefits of internships, you apply your knowledge in the classroom and to relevant field of work. You'll be ahead of most students who don't think about how they can actually apply this to the real world. You actually gain practical training and real life experience, and you'll have access to networking with some of the biggest companies here, and even some of the hottest startups in the US. And then you'll have education contacts and career advancement opportunities as well. So the internship course plus the internship itself will constitute the CPT experience. How do you apply? What are the documents? We're looking at a cooperative educational internship agreement. What does that mean? It is an agreement between you and the employer. So of course, you can apply to any US employer. And then once you get the offer for that position, we will need the offer letter. And then you also present an agreement that's signed by the employer stating that they approve that they understand you're doing CPT, and it also lists what is the relevance to your education, and then they'll just check off some boxes. So there's a signature at the end of the agreement that is uploaded online to an online form, along with the proof of tuition payment, so that we will be able to process your CPT application. So if you do have any questions about CPT, OPT during the application process, your admissions advisor, who is there from the very start of your application to your enrollment, they will be the best resource to pointing you in the right direction in understanding the statuses of your application, okay? So I want to also, we do have a university forms page that lists the areas where you can find the CPT forms. It's under student services. So it's under this Life at Westcliff. And then if you go into student services, you'll find the link to university forms. And here you can find CPT forms along with the application. And then we have cooperative agreements for each program. All right. Finally, wrapping up, we have payment options. I mentioned we have semester options or paying by month. We can also accept international loans and then scholarships. For transfer F1 enrollment journey, this is those students that are coming from another institution in the US. How do they apply? Will you apply online? We'll look at their transcript with the GPA minimum and English proficiency. You'll also have an admissions interview. So you'll schedule that with the Westcliff admissions advisor. From there, you'll receive acceptance letter, and you'll have your unique Westcliff application ID on the top right corner of that acceptance letter. That is what you'll use to apply for the I-20 to start the I-20 transfer process, right? So you'll receive acceptance, then you can immediately begin to to actually let your DSO from your previous school know that you're beginning to see this transfer. So really, I would, at this point, refer to your previous institution's transfer out process. And then we don't recommend transferring your CBIS record until 1 week prior to your start date, because once you transfer your record, you will not be able to continue working until you start CPT, right? And then when you enroll at Westcliff, we will have you sign some enrollment and disclosure forms, and then you'll be paying your first semester tuition along with any fees. And then this is once you do the tuition payment, then we will get you in contact with the CPT department and also send you the necessary forms to begin registering for CPT. So at this point, I recommend communicating with your student service advisor, with your admissions advisor. Also, just asking about maybe scheduling a one-on-one with them about your class schedule, academic counseling, and then attending new student orientation about 2 weeks prior to the start. That will be either virtually or on campus, but that will be the best way we can, have all your questions answered, and it will be mandatory attendance as well. So how to avoid delays, just make sure that your advisor knows you're referred by GoElite, upload all the required documentation onto the online forms, and then everything that needs to be translated and everything is clear in color, and then the correct email and phone number are listed, and then completing registration as soon as possible will increase the chances of getting CPT closer to the start date of the program. Finally, I just want to wrap up top 5 reasons students come to Westcliff. 1 is affordable tuition. You have payment plans, scholarships. We have attractive location on the East and the West Coast of the US. And we have real pathway. So this is a communications pathway that you can actually begin your program while taking English, intensive English program. And then you can do work opportunities during and after your program through CPT and OPT. And then flexibility-wise, students will have 6 start dates per year. So if you missed fall August start date, you have October coming up. If you miss October, you have January, then you have March. Almost every other month is a new start date. It's not too far away. On campus or live 100% online are some options. So we're flexible and no GRE, GMAT, or SAT requirements. I know that was a lot of information and I see a ton of questions, but hopefully we'll be able to answer all this. Thank you again, Ryan, for letting me explain that.
Yeah, thank you so much, John, for your complete information. And I just want to put a quick note out that if any students are encountering any admission questions, or if you missed the application deadline or you aren't able to make it to the interviews, please feel free to contact us through our Q&A sessions QR code, which I'm going to, could you stop sharing for a second, John? Which our consultant are going to help you. So right now, our colleagues collected all of the questions that we have. Right now, we're just going to go through everybody's questions. So starting from number 1, so what kind of supports are needed from the employer when applying for the CPT, such as offer letter and etc.?
Okay. Yeah, so again, the first step would be to apply to the employer and get the offer letter, and we will have a cooperative agreement that is broken out by program. So if you select the right program cooperative agreement, that agreement needs to be signed by the employer and then submitted with your application. Finally, we also looking at the tuition payment. So if you've paid your tuition, you really cannot submit or register for CPT unless you've registered and gotten your Westcliff email address, right? You won't be able to submit the online form there. So that's technically the barrier there.
Okay, so the second question is, can I finish the MBA STEM program in 1 year?
So we have been able to make exceptions, but I think that for your first semester, we try not to discourage doing the accelerated program. So you see how the pacing goes and the balance, but I would plan to that it will be more than 1 year. So we try to not say that you can finish in 1 year, but it is less than 2 years.
Okay, so this question is, this student is closer to Westcliff, and he or she would like to know if the university provides master's program in data science or computer science.
That's right, we do.
Okay, so if you have any questions when you're trying to apply, please feel free to scan either of this QR code, and this is for WeChat, the other one is for WhatsApp. So the other question would be, if a person has 10 years plus of computer networks experience and has bachelor's in arts, can he do master's in CS or information technology?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, I know there's a lot of information, but you can actually do your MSCS, or sorry, MSIT or MSCS, but you will need to probably take a prerequisite course, Tech 100. Now, it's possible we can waive that, considering you have 10 plus years of computer networking experience. It falls under prior learning experience credit. So this one will be best to talk to with your admissions advisor. See.
Okay, so the next question is, can a DBA PhD program, which allows full-time CPT, be completed in less than or more than 3 years?
A DBA program at Westcliff can be completed in less than, it's typically roughly around 3 years. We don't have an accelerated portion of this because the dissertation does take time to finally complete, and then there's the defense of the dissertation too. So it is more or less around 3 years to complete.
Okay, so can a student do that more than 3 years?
Yes, they can take more than 3 years to complete. Okay. There is a upwards limitation, like a upper limit to that. So it can't be like 6 years, 5 years, but you can take it and finish even if it's a little over 3 years. That's fine.
Okay, so the next question is, continuing on the doctorate program, how many years of experience will be required?
So you don't need any
job experience. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, talking over. Yeah, you don't need any experience to do the doctorate program. We've actually eliminated any prerequisites.
Okay. So the next question, I want to know the options of day one CPT and transition from H-1B to F1. Is it possible?
The options of day one CPT.
Programs, I think.
Okay. Right. So all programs can qualify for CPT, and that can be at the start of your program if you're graduate level or above. Transition from H-1B to F1, I would consult possibly with maybe GoElite, consultants or customer support so that they can actually better answer that question.
So if you have any questions regarding H-1B or visa status, we help tons of students with those similar situations. And please just feel free to scan either QR code and our consultant will talk to you. So the next question would be, any plan to open courses for hardware engineering, specifically chip designing?
We definitely realize there is a need for that outside of the informatics engineering, right? That we kind of offer, the engineering management that we offer. But right now, I don't have the details. So we are always opening new courses and new programs every year. The nursing program, for instance, is one of them. We have a JD LLM degree that will be coming out, JD MBA program this summer as well.
So the next question is, if a person have an ELTS result that is 2 years ago or 2 years plus, would that be acceptable?
The validity period will be a 2-year validity. So we can do our own practical exam for the IELTS as well. So if you want to do that, we have our own placement test, free of charge.
Okay. So are the admission requirements same for all the courses and programs, including the PhDs?
Yeah, so generally speaking, we are going to collect the same documents for each one. However, the admissions requirements, as I was mentioning, for MSIT, MSCS, and MSEM, we may require an additional course in that relevant field, or else you may need to take a prerequisite course.
Okay, next question. Are all the concentrations under the MBA program eligible for day one CPT?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So next, I'm interested in the accelerated program. Can you share a little bit more on that?
Right, yes. So this is something that you can request while you're a student here with your student service advisor. So after being registered and enrolled, you can also make that interest known to your admissions advisor, but you'll need to submit a form to request consideration for being on the accelerated program. So it does require you to maintain a certain level of academics, GPA. So if you do fall under the GPA, we will have to decelerate that, but we can decelerate or accelerate, as you flexibly.
Okay. The next question would be, is there any master program or specifically MBA that can be accelerated within 1 year?
Right. So I would stay away from having a 1 year expectation for accelerated, but you will be able to finish in less than 2 years for any master's level program.
So the next question, can you work for more than one company during the school?
I have seen that in the past. I believe that there may be a special approval, just a request that you can add an additional CPT onto that. That will be something that you need to speak with the DSO at the school. But yes, it's possible.
And also, if the student is interested in joining a student group, feel free to scan our WhatsApp QR code so we can put you within a Westcliff student group to ask other students of how their experience is. So the next question is, can you work for more than one? Sorry, I already have that question. Will you not be able to access OPT through this program or also after another master's?
Yes, you can do OPT. I didn't spend too much time talking about OPT, but OPT is available to apply up to within 90 days of your graduation date. So you can start applying for OPT. And then if you do STEM, you can actually do OPT for up to 3 years after graduation rather than just 1 year.
Sounds good. So the next question, can we do CPT for 40 hours per week for the whole program for 2 years?
You can if you do not want to work after graduation. Right. So if your goal is just to do study and work while you're here, but then leave or transition to something else, then that is okay.
So next question, if GPA score is less than 3, does Westcliff provide pathway options to the candidate?
So we don't have a low GPA pathway, but we do have accepted a lot of students that do not meet the minimum GPA requirement. And it will just be a petition. We'll have to petition for low grade and give you a reason to explain why you might do better at Westcliff than you were doing in your other school, your previous school. So we're very flexible and understanding of that.
Yeah, good to know. So next question would be, can any role be considered an internship, for example, account executive or marketing manager?
Yes.
Sounds good. Next, can you explain the OPT for grad student again?
Yes. So for grad students, again, about 90 days before you graduate, you can begin looking for OPT and applying for that. Again, OPT is not through the school. It's not permission by a DSO. It's actually permission from the US government. So you'll be applying through the USCIS to receive your OPT authorization. Now you can continue searching for employers that accept students doing OPT. And then typically it's 1 year, but if you do STEM, you can do up to 3 years of OPT.
Okay. Next, the student is interested in, can, the person begin a CPT before the school start date?
Well, the CPT has to begin, it coincides with the program start. So no, we do try to keep the CPT registration about a week before your start date. So if you're doing anything previous to that, you can wrap that up and then you can start as soon as your program begins.
Okay. Next, is there a specific requirement for the job offer letter? For example, start date, salary, etc.
That's a good question, actually. So looking at so you're saying for the actual
offer.
Mm-hmm. We actually have a template of what we're looking for the letter below. It's something that our admissions advisor usually sends, that a list, everything you need to know about CPT. It's an info packet that you should get right, after enrolling at Westcliff. But I want to say that it also has in the packet what the offer letter should look like. So you will see that in the info packet. It's a template and it shows, what the employer name is, the address, and then literally saying that you've been offered an internship or employment with this company. It would have the physical address of where you're doing the training and the exact start date, whether it's part-time or full-time, the number of hours per week, and then also the salary, if there is any, and then the title of position with the detailed job description, and then the supervisor phone number. But again, all this can be found in the template within the info packet you will receive when you apply.
Thanks for the information. And I assume that there's no salary requirement for that.
No.
Okay. So the next question will be, which campus is EDD's program located in?
The Irvine campus.
Okay, the main campus. And next, how an H-4 dependent visa holder can apply to acquire CPT? Does it require to change visa status to some other visa?
Well, I would say CPT would be under F1 visa, so you do need to go over a change of status, I believe. To get more into the details of that, I would definitely speak with GoElite consultants.
Yeah, we work with a lot of students with H-4 and H-1B visa who are experiencing, visa status change. So just feel free to scan the QR code and talk to our consultants for free. So the next question would be, I'm currently on an F1 visa, but I want to apply using a different passport or citizenship. Could I still transfer my CVS account, or would I apply as a first-time student?
Currently on an F1 visa, different passport citizenship.
I guess this person changed his or her citizenship?
This is a great question. I would probably need to field that to our DSO to answer. And if I guess it's not like US citizenship, not a US passport. It's just changing their passport. So I wouldn't be able to definitely answer that on this call, but I would definitely recommend more maybe a personal consultation on that.
Yeah. So if we are working right now, do we need to stop working while CPT transfer process is happening?
Right. So you can keep working until about, when we actually do the transfer, which is about a week before your start of your program.
Okay. Next would be how many times are meeting in person? I guess he means the semester on-site frequency.
Yeah. So I'm actually an MBA student myself. You actually once per week is the typical schedule of meeting. Now, this may change for the fall. We're trying to have more on-campus presence here, but so far, typically it's a once per week meeting in person. Currently, though, we have Engage Week, which is about which will fulfill your meeting requirements for in person. So that happens on week 4 of the 8-week session. So I would say the expectation will be at least once per semester, but it can be up to 8 times per semester. Looking at your course schedule.
So right now, the Engage Week would be once per semester on site, but yes, we are expecting to change maybe.
That's right.
Okay. So the next question, my OPT ends on June 5th. When can I start working with my CPT?
I guess that I would need more information from the asker about when they want to start. Have they already submitted their application for our next start date would be June 26th. So you can start your CPT when your program begins.
Sounds good. So can I apply with minimum funds in the bank statement without the living expense because I'm not living with my parents? Because I am living with my parents.
If I am living with my parents, what you can do is you can have your parents on there as sponsors. So we can accept multiple sponsors. We would need to look at the funds within your parents. If your parents submit a bank statement, then that will qualify as well.
Sounds good. So next, can you accept old offer letter, or do we need a new offer letter to start day 1 CPT while working at current company?
Do we need a new offer letter because they want to continue working at the same company, right? This one, I believe that we will still need to do a new offer letter. Right, actually, so this one, it's a good question. We typically would still need the copy of that offer letter. I would try to, submit that old copy. If it is not possible to get a new one, then I would, retain the old offer letter copy and then see and try to submit that first.
The next person wanted to know, does westcliff have MBA and is it a STEM?
Yes, we do. And so there are a list of concentrations if you scroll down to the bottom of the MBA page, and you can see which ones are marked as STEM below.
Next, what if we live around 50 miles away from the urban campus? Can we qualify for the once a semester class versus the weekly class?
We have been able to approve students who are very close to the 50 miles mark distance. And I assume you're asking about the professional format. So yes, it's possible. We will need special approval for that.
Okay. What majors are available for PhD?
We have, for the DBA program, there's the leadership in the 21st century. That is the one that is not STEM. Otherwise, we have applied computer science. We have cybersecurity, data management. There's, let me actually pull up the full offers. But if you do find the program on our website under academic, you can find a list of all the majors available. So give me 1 second. I want to see if I can pull up just to list out. Okay. So current concentrations, we have business intelligence and data analytics, along with applied computer science, cybersecurity, I mentioned, IT management, strategic leadership, and web development.
Okay, so the next person wanted to know what's the application deadline for fall semester?
Great question. So as a transfer F1 student, your deadline is, I believe, about 6 weeks before the start of fall. So it's going to be mid-July.
Mid-July. So are all the master's programs available in both campuses?
Are all the master's program available? We offer, in the Florida campus, we offer the MBA program and MA TESOL program. We do not offer MSIT, MSCS, or MSEM. But in the Irvine, California campus, everything is available there.
Thanks for the clarification. Next question, when should I apply for the Summer 6?
All right, Summer 6 is approaching. So the application deadline is May 15th. Please make sure you submit your completed application before then.
Next, are you still accepting applications for the June 26th start date?
Yes,
okay.
That is the Summer 6.
If you, as a student, if you do have an urgent request in terms of enrollment, please contact us and we are able to help you. And the next question didn't see, oh, I think we already answered that. The answer is yes. Westcliff does have MBAs and some of the concentrations are STEM. Next, for F1 transfer master students, how often do we need to attend classes in person?
So currently, a policy is once per semester, doing the engage.
Sounds good. My STEM OPT extension ends on August 1st. I want to know when is the last date to apply to start Day 1 CPT for an August 1st.
So if you want to continually work, you may be able to, I would probably want to apply earlier than August 1st, but otherwise the next available start date would be August 28th. So you will have a gap between the OPT extension, ending and then starting your CPT. So you will be able to apply after you are enrolled and register, pay your first semester tuition. Then you can actually begin the CPT application and be approved, hopefully by the beginning of your program.
Next person is interested in, can the CS, MSCS program be finished more than 2 years?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Could you explain more about the professional format?
So the professional format is offered through any of our graduate level programs, and it is for students who are usually transfer F1 students that are in the US already and have the current position, and they're too far away from campus to attend classes, and they will be coming to campus for 1 weekend per semester. So it's the advantage of this is you won't need to come in the daytime during a weekday to attend class, but you'll be able to have a full weekend or 1 day of full classes at the campus that will encompass your requirement of being on campus for 1 semester.
Sounds good. Next question. I work for LinkedIn and they don't allow Day 1 CPT. Is there a workaround?
That might be something we can kind of get a little more information and then speak with you personally about your specific case and see if there's anything we can do.
Next question, does the job offer has to state is an internship position?
Typically, yes. I believe in the template of the job offer, it is acknowledging that it is either an internship, or actually it can also state that is an employment. So typically you can, if you look at the template for the job offer, you can see how we structure it, but it can be either internship or employment.
Mm-hmm. So which program would be the better suited for someone already worked in semiconductor industry as an early career engineer?
Well, we do have the MS Engineering Management program, and I think that you would be a perfect candidate for that.
Sounds good. Can I continue to work full-time for CPT and finish the data analysis or data science program and be completed in 1 year and allow for OPT?
Yeah, that's tough. We cannot guarantee that you're going to finish in 1 year. So it's hard to say that is possible in order to be finished with all your curriculum requirements, your core, and everything like this, and graduate, then be able to pursue OPT. Yeah.
So if GPA score is less than mentioned, can work experience help?
Yes, I think so. It really depends on the statement we'll ask from you. It's going to be something you write out, personally explain why you feel you'll be better at this. And it's very subjective, but yes, work experience will definitely be able to help.
Thank you. And is computer science offered in the Florida campus?
Not at the moment.
So what are the time commitment and workload for the MSEM?
Right. So our classes sessions are held typically from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And it's usually the class sessions are once per week. So on top of that, you're going to be submitting peer response assignments every once per week. So that's usually on a Thursday, and then you'll have your assignments, either responses to those peer responses, or you'll have the papers at Sunday night. So I would say, giving you a lot of latitude to pursue like a full-time even workload, on top of doing your classes. So you'll have the weekend to work on any papers, but then you'll only need to come in and attend class once per week.
Sounds good. So what is the possibility of getting F1 renewed from the host country as an incoming day one CPT master students? Previously, F1 was for MS in CS.
From host country I'm a little
I believe it means in the US as a whole.
As an incoming day one CPT master student, previous F1 was for MS. I wouldn't be able to tell you the possibility on this. It might be something we will need to gather more information and possibly speak with any legal counsel as far as renewing F1. You might need to leave the country and apply for a new F1.
Next question, what's the differences between master program and master programs professional?
Okay, so the professional format just allows you to have your weekend to come and do your weekend once time per semester requirement to come to campus, whereas the general master's program may have a weekly requirement of on-campus presence in the future.
Sounds good. So can a person do MBA program beyond 2 years?
So you can apply for vacation, right? And that can actually push your completion date farther than 2 years. So yes.
Okay, next question. I have a degree from US college of 30 credits. However, a few of them are not graded, but passed. I believe it's a pass, no pass credit. Is it an issue I believe this is a transfer student?
Right. I wouldn't be able to say that for certainty. We would need to look at your actual your credit, your diploma transcripts from, sorry, not your diploma, just your transcripts from the U.S. college, and then make that determination.
Yeah, so our recommendation would be always apply and then see the result, because apply through GoElite, you don't have to pay we can waive the application fee.
Perfect, yes.
The next question is, can the thesis and research related course be taken before regular coursework for DBA, or is there a particular order for that?
Well, the way our DBA program works is we actually try to do it in increments so that you're not waiting till the very last year to do your entire research thesis paper. So we actually get you started thinking about your thesis. You're actually going to have one research class by the end of your first year. Then you'll have another one that is refining the research topic and thesis. And then the third year is when you really devote most of your time to completing that. But yes, within the first 2 years, you'll be completing your regular coursework.
I think it's time to wrap up. So I think we'll answer one last question. And if we haven't answered your questions, feel free to scan the QR code so our consultant will work with the school directly and answer all of your questions. So the last question would be, can we get CPT while pursuing the MBA and get an OPT of 36 months after graduation?
Absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, John. And thank you for everybody to attend this info session. We see tons of Q&As. So definitely keep in tune for our next sessions. And also, thank you so much, John. And if you're interested in Westcliff University, just scan the QR code and our consultant will help you. Thank you for everybody to attend, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye, John. Thank you so much.